Have you ever noticed how sometimes you just instantly click with someone, like you're on the same wavelength?
Yeah,
Then other times, it feels like you're speaking completely different languages.
absolutely.
Like you're trying to communicate, but the message just isn't getting through.
It's so frustrating.
Or how about this? Some career paths just feel right, like they fit you perfectly.
Right, you just know it.
While others, well, they feel like a total mismatch, like you're trying to force a square peg into a round hole.
Makes you wonder why that is, right?
That's exactly what we're diving deep into today. Understanding yourself, like at a really fundamental level.
At the core.
Yeah, getting to the why behind your preferences, those things you naturally gravitate towards, your behaviors.
It's about uncovering that user manual, you know?
The user manual.
Yeah, think of it like a guidebook for yourself, how you operate, what makes you tick.
That's a really interesting way to put it.
When you understand your core drivers, the things that motivate you, the things you're naturally good at,
It gives you a different perspective.
exactly, you can navigate your personal life, your professional life, all of it with so much more clarity, and you can be so much more intentional with your choices.
Now that brings us to rutherfordintel.io.
Have you heard about it?
I have, and it's not just one of those quick, personality quizzes you see everywhere online.
Right, those are fun.
But this is something different, right?
More in-depth?
Yeah, it's like a really sophisticated personality assessment that's designed to give you
A much richer understanding of yourself.
a way more nuanced, more insightful picture of who you are.
What I find really compelling about rutherfordintel.io is their approach.
How so?
Well, they use some pretty advanced analytics, to go way beyond those surface level traits.
Like, are you an introvert or an extrovert type of thing?
Yeah, exactly. It's much deeper than that.
So it helps you identify those strengths, those inherent things you're good at.
Definitely, but it also highlights those areas where you might naturally experience challenges.
Or you might get stuck.
Yeah, or have opportunities for growth.
Makes sense.
And it's not about labeling you.
Right.
It's about giving you that personalized guidance based on your own unique profile.
So it's about understanding and then actually using that knowledge.
Precisely.
Now, the organization behind Rutherford Intel, Rutherford International,
They have a really powerful mission.
they do, I was reading about it, they aim to foster a world of mutually supportive professionals.
Where possibilities are endless.
And every individual is empowered.
I love that.
It's a great purpose.
And if you connect that to what we're talking about, this self-awareness.
You can see how they go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
When you know yourself better, you're better equipped to collaborate,
For sure.
to work with others, to contribute those unique talents you have.
And to actually thrive in those supportive environments that Rutherford International is trying to create.
It's about building stronger connections.
Right. It is.
And unlocking that collective potential that we have as individuals, but also as a group.
I think that's a key point.
Now, this isn't just based on intuition or common knowledge. There's some serious science backing this up, right?
Definitely. The whole framework of Rutherford and Intel is built upon the personality DNA research of Dr. Cash.
Okay, so this isn't about fleeting trends.
No, this is grounded in solid data analysis. It's about getting to those cutting-edge insights into how human personality really works. What are those fundamental building blocks?
When we say scientific foundation, we're talking about something substantial.
Absolutely. The personality DNA model identifies 12 distinct personality types.
Well, okay.
And each of those is further broken down into 60 subtypes.
Wow, that's a lot of variation.
It is, and the researchers actually compare it to the rigor of the periodic table of elements.
What periodic table?
Yeah, think about it. The periodic table organizes those
Yeah.
fundamental building blocks of matter.
Right, elements, yeah.
The idea here is that personality DNA offers a similar kind of systematic organization, but for understanding personality.
That's a big statement, comparing it to the periodic table.
It is. It's about using those same advanced statistical methods to ensure accuracy and depth.
So how reliable is this assessment compared to some of those more popular ones that we see out there?
That's a great question, and it's a key point to consider. The research suggests that a lot of those widely used personality assessments, they might not have the strongest predictive validity.
What does that mean?
Well, especially when it comes to making those big decisions in life.
Like what?
Choosing a career, finding a compatible partner, those are really important things.
Yeah, those are big.
And a lot of those popular assessments, they might fall short in those areas.
Okay.
Personality DNA, on the other hand, is designed specifically to provide that kind of information that's not only relevant and accurate, but also really significant for making those big life choices.
So it's not just about, are you a morning person or a night owl? for a fun conversation starter.
Exactly. It's about understanding those deeper currents of your personality, how you see the world, why you connect with certain people, what your core values are, even how your personality aligns with different careers.
And even finances.
Absolutely. It's about getting to the heart of your unique psychological makeup.
I found it so fascinating that there's a scientific concept linking something as tangible as chemistry to something as complex as personality. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, it's this really interesting analogy between the 85 distinct traits identified in the personality DNA framework and the 96 natural elements in the periodic table.
Okay.
The idea is that just like different combinations of elements create molecules with unique properties,
Right.
different combinations of those fundamental personality traits come together to form those more complex personality factors that define us.
It's like personality chemistry.
It really is. It's a compelling way to visualize how our personalities are built.
Okay, so we have these 85 traits that combine into what are called personality factors. How does that work?
Well, the research has identified 6 core personality factors, and we all fall somewhere on a spectrum for each of those.
Like a sliding scale.
Exactly. So for each of these factors, you might lean more towards one side or the other.
Okay.
And these are opportunist versus altruist, imaginative versus inventive, analytic versus holistic, social versus insightful, individualistic versus responsible, and results-oriented versus process-oriented.
It's the combination of those, right?
It is. It's a specific combination and the relative strength across those 6 spectrums that determines your personality type.
Which of the 12 you align with?
Exactly. Think of them like primary colors.
Primary colors.
Yeah, mixing them in different proportions creates a whole spectrum of unique shades.
Makes sense. So it's not just black and white.
Not at all. It's much more nuanced than that.
And these 12 types aren't just randomly thrown together, are they? I was reading about them being organized into quadrants.
You're right, they are.
So there's another layer to this.
To make it even more interesting, these 12 personality types are grouped into 4 quadrants: leadership, intellectual, interpersonal, and productive.
And that helps us understand.
It highlights the dominant tendencies and strengths associated with each type.
So, for example,
The leadership quadrant. That includes types like the capitalist, the holistic, and the result-driven personalities.
those are the ones who naturally take charge.
Often, yes, they excel in roles requiring direction and influence.
It's a very intricate system for sure.
It is, but human personality is so multifaceted, so how does this model account for all that variation?
That's a good point. It's not like we all fit perfectly into these neat categories.
You're absolutely right, and the model acknowledges that through these concepts of hybrid, chameleon, and versatile personality types.
Okay, so there's flexibility.
Definitely. It recognizes that people rarely fit into just one box.
So tell me about those. What are hybrids?
Hybrids, they exhibit characteristics of multiple types,
Or mix and match?
like a blend of tendencies. Then you have the chameleons. They're incredibly adaptable.
Like they can blend in.
They adjust their behavior and communication based on the situation.
So they can be different things to different people.
To a degree, yes.
And then versatile.
Versatile individuals have this unique balance of talents across different personality dimensions.
So they're multi-talented.
You could say that, yes.
Okay, so we've talked about RutherfordIntel.io, their mission
Yeah.
of building this community and empowering people through self-understanding.
Yep.
And we've touched on the science, the personality DNA research of Dr. Cash.
With its 12 types, 60 subtypes, and 6 core personality factors.
Right. That's a lot to take in.
It is, but it's fascinating.
Now, one particular personality type really stood out to me.
Which one?
The holistic personality. What can you tell us about that?
Oh, the holistic personality is fascinating.
It is. It's intriguing.
They're characterized by what's called fluid thinking, systems thinking.
Okay.
And they often have this really strong but sort of intuitive leadership style.
Intuitive.
It's like they just know how to lead. It comes naturally to them.
Interesting.
People with this personality, they're really introspective. You know, they think deeply about things.
They look inward.
They do. And they often possess this natural wisdom. They see things from a different perspective.
I can see how that would make them good leaders.
They are natural leaders, but not in a forceful, dominating way.
No, it's more about
Their insight, their ability to see that bigger picture, they don't get bogged down in the details.
you see the whole forest, not just the trees.
Exactly. And they're incredibly open-minded. They embrace change. They're not afraid of it.
They're adaptable.
Very much so.
Fluid thinking and systems thinking, those sound like really powerful attributes. Can you break those down a little more?
Sure. Fluid thinking refers to cognitive agility.
Yeah.
They can process information quickly. they learn from experiences, and they adapt their approach when things change.
They're flexible, like you said.
Exactly. Imagine someone hitting a roadblock in a project. A holistic personality will just shift gears, find a new solution.
They don't get flustered.
Not easily. No, then there's systems thinking. It's their ability to see connections, how different parts of a system influence each other.
They see the interconnectedness of things.
Exactly. They don't just focus on one element. They see how it all fits together.
Like go web.
Yeah, a great analogy. So if there's a business challenge, they won't just look at the symptoms. They'll try to understand the root cause, how different departments are affected.
They see the whole system.
They do. And it's interesting. This personality type is actually quite rare.
Really?
Only about 1.38% of the population identifies as holistic.
Wow, so it's a pretty uncommon type.
It is, but that makes them even more interesting, don't you think?
Definitely. So what are some of those other core characteristics that define a holistic personality?
Well, as we mentioned, they're very inward focused. They reflect a lot on their thoughts, their values, their motivations.
They're always seeking that deeper understanding.
Yes, they are. And they are natural leaders. We talked about that. They inspire others with their unique perspectives.
They're the ones with the original ideas.
Often, yes, and they're so adaptable and open-minded. They welcome new ideas. They adjust to changing circumstances.
And they're strategic and imaginative, right?
That's another key trait. They're always thinking long-term, envisioning those innovative possibilities.
So how does this translate into their leadership style? If someone with a holistic personality is leading a team, what's that like?
Their leadership style is naturally holistic.
Okay.
It's progressive, adaptable, meaning they can adjust their approach to fit the situation, the needs of their team.
They're flexible leaders.
Exactly. They lead with a strong strategic vision. They keep the big picture in mind, the long-term goals.
We're not just focused on the day-to-day.
No, they see further ahead, and they're often really inspiring leaders. They motivate others by communicating a sense of purpose.
They give people something to believe in.
They do, and they often have a significant social impact. They want to make a difference in the world.
That's a very empowering leadership style. So what about other aspects of their lives? How does a holistic personality approach their own health and well-being?
Just like everything else, their approach to health and well-being is holistic.
They see the connection.
They understand the connection between physical health, mental health, spiritual health.
And they try to keep those in balance.
Exactly. You might find them practicing meditation or mindfulness to nurture their mental and spiritual well-being.
It's about finding that inner peace.
It is. And they typically prioritize a balanced diet. They understand the link between what they eat and how they feel.
It's all connected.
Right. It's all part of that holistic perspective.
What about their relationships with others? What's their interpersonal style like?
They tend to cultivate healthy, balanced relationships built on trust, mutual respect, and open communication.
Strong foundations.
Absolutely. They value collaboration. They really try to understand their partner's perspective, especially during disagreements.
That's important.
It is. And they're not controlling. They empower their loved ones to make their own choices, support their growth.
They give them space.
Yes. And open, authentic communication is key for them. Creating harmony, respecting their partner's individuality.
It sounds like a very supportive and mature way to approach relationships.
It is. They value those deep connections.
So if you're interacting with someone who has a holistic personality, what's the best way to communicate with them?
Well, the most important thing is to be genuine, be sincere.
Be yourself.
Exactly. They value authenticity. They can spot fakeness a mile away.
So no pretending.
No, not with them. And really listen to them, practice active listening, try to understand their thoughts and feelings.
Put yourself in their shoes.
Exactly. And when you're communicating your message, try to frame it in a broader context.
How so?
Highlight the potential impact, the bigger picture.
They're big picture thinkers, right?
They are, and they appreciate collaboration. So be open to dialogue, consider different perspectives.
Don't be afraid to brainstorm.
No, and respect their need for autonomy. Let them make their own choices.
Don't try to control them.
Exactly. And whenever possible, emphasize the positive impact of what you're discussing, the potential for growth.
They're all about growth, aren't they?
They really are.
It seems like their overall communication style would reflect that holistic viewpoint.
It does what the sources describe as holistic communication. It goes beyond just exchanging information.
It's deeper than that.
Much deeper. It's about considering the context, the interconnectedness of things, the impact on everyone involved.
It's about understanding.
It really is, and it emphasizes inclusivity, bringing in different viewpoints, having that open dialogue.
Everyone has a voice.
Exactly, and it's about being aware of the context, the emotional climate, the individual experiences.
Reading the room.
In a way, yes, and ultimately it's about focusing on the purpose of the communication, the intended impact.
What are you trying to achieve?
Exactly. It's about inspiring understanding, creating positive change on a larger scale.
So it's less about getting your point across and more about creating connection, right?
Yes, a deeper connection, a shared understanding.
Now, we talked a bit about their dietary preferences. Can you elaborate on their approach to health, wellness, and diet?
Holistic personalities are often skeptical of those restrictive fad diets.
So the ones that come and go.
Yeah, they're not about that. They focus on pleasure and nourishment, respecting their body's needs.
They listen to their body.
They do, and they prioritize whole, unprocessed foods. They believe in moderation and balance.
No strict rules.
No, it's more about intuition and what feels right for them.
They trust their gut.
Literally and figuratively, and they recognize the connection between mind, body, and spirit.
It's all one.
They see health and wellness as a journey of personal growth, striving for inner harmony.
Makes sense. It's all connected.
Right back to that interconnectedness.
Given all these qualities, are holistic personalities drawn to certain careers?
Definitely. Their leadership skills, their creativity, their adaptability, their desire to make a positive impact.
It leads them to certain fields.
It does. You often find them in entrepreneurship, leadership positions within organizations.
They're the ones starting companies, leading teams.
Often, yes. They also excel in fields that involve change and innovation, human-centered professions.
Like what?
Human resources, coaching, education, fields where they can work with people, help them grow.
They're natural mentors.
They are, and their visionary thinking makes them a good fit for creative and strategic fields.
So, lots of options.
And many find fulfillment in self-employment. They value that autonomy.
Being their own boss.
Exactly. They can pursue their passions.
What are some of those natural competencies that contribute to their success?
Well, their progressive mindset is key. Their ability to develop a strategic vision, their imaginative insight, their leadership skills.
That's a powerful combination.
It is, and they're driven by a desire for social impact. They're self-motivated, results-oriented.
They get things done.
They do, and they often have a good sense of political savvy. They can navigate those complex organizations.
They know how to play the game.
You could say that, yes.
So what are some specific career paths where they might thrive?
Well, you might find them in executive-level positions, leading companies.
CEOs.
Potentially, yes. Or in various management roles, heading up departments, leading HR teams.
And starting their own businesses.
Absolutely. And as we said, self-employment is often a great fit for them.
That freedom and flexibility.
Exactly. And they could also make a real impact in politics, government service, maybe even sports and recreation.
They could be coaches, right?
They could, or maybe they lead those organizations, and healthcare administration is another area where their holistic perspective would be valuable.
How many possibilities?
There are. They can really make a difference in any field they choose.
Now, what about their personal lives? What kind of personality type would be a good match for a holistic personality?
The research actually suggests that the ideal match is often another holistic personality.
Like attracts.
In this case, yes, or one of the compatible holistic hybrid types.
So someone who shares those core values.
Exactly. Compatible approaches to relationships. Those are the keys to stability and harmony.
Shared understanding.
Precisely. The sources actually list several specific holistic hybrids that could be good matches.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, I won't go into all the details, but the key takeaway is that the partner needs to respect their need for personal growth,
Okay.
value open and authentic communication, and share that fundamental belief in interconnectedness.
So someone who sees the world in a similar way.
Exactly. That's the foundation for a really strong, fulfilling relationship.
It makes a lot of sense. So how do holistic personalities view themselves? What's their internal self-perception like?
They generally see themselves as individuals who embrace change, who are driven to achieve their dreams.
Ambitious.
They are, and they recognize their ability to guide and inspire others.
They see themselves as leaders.
They do, and they often emphasize the importance of hope, teamwork, collaboration.
They believe in the power of the collective.
Yes, they do, and they acknowledge that challenges are part of life.
But they don't let that get them down.
No, they tend to maintain an optimistic outlook, and they understand the impact they can have on the world.
They see themselves as change makers.
In a way, yes, they believe they can make a difference.
It's a very positive and self-aware perspective.
It is. They have a good understanding of themselves.
So when they do encounter challenges, how do they approach them?
Their approach is all about seeking a broader perspective, that systems thinking we talked about.
They zoom out.
They do. They use their fluid thinking and open-mindedness to consider all the options.
They don't get tunnel vision.
No, they see the whole picture, they draw upon past experiences, but they're not limited by them.
They're always learning.
Yes, and they focus on understanding the whole system involved in the challenge.
So they're looking for those root causes, those connections.
Exactly, and they embrace change. They know sometimes things need to shift.
And their intuition plays a role, right?
Absolutely, it helps them understand the issue and find solutions.
It's like they have a gut feeling.
Sometimes they do. It's part of their holistic approach.
So it's a very comprehensive, adaptable, intuitive problem-solving style.
It is. They're very resourceful.
As we wrap up our deep dive into the holistic personality, what makes them truly unique?
Their deep desire for self-understanding sets them apart. They're always striving to learn more about themselves.
They're introspective.
Very much so. And their adaptability, their agility in learning new things, that's another key factor.
They're not afraid of the unknown.
No, they embrace it. And of course, that holistic worldview, seeing those connections that others might miss.
They see the bigger picture.
Always. And their natural leadership abilities, coupled with their authentic communication style, that's a powerful combination.
People trust them.
They do. They're drawn to them. And finally, they're striving for congruence, that alignment between their inner values and their actions.
They walk the talk.
They do. They live their values, and that's what makes them so unique.
It's been fascinating to explore the holistic personality. It really highlights the depth and nuance of the personality DNA framework. Yeah.
It does, and it shows the power of self-awareness.
And how it shapes our lives, our careers, our relationships, our well-being.
Absolutely. It's about understanding your strengths, your tendencies, your areas for growth.
And using that knowledge to make better choices.
Exactly. Choices that align with your true self, your values.
So if you're listening to this and you're curious about uncovering your own personality DNA, what's the next step?
Take the rutherfordintel.io assessment.
It's the best way to get those personalized insights into your own personality type.
You'll learn so much about yourself.
You'll explore the 12 personality types, discover your strengths, your values, potential career paths that might be a perfect fit.
It's an incredible journey of self-discovery.
And it's not just about individual insights. Rutherford International is building a community around this.
We are. It's all about connection and support.
So once you've taken the assessment, you can join these exclusive affinity groups.
Connect with people who share your personality type.
It's about finding your tribe.
Exactly. Finding people who understand you, who can support you, who you can learn from.
And it all goes back to Rutherford International's mission, fostering those mutually supportive connections and empowering individuals.
That's at the heart of everything we do.
So as you reflect on what we've discussed today, think about this.
Okay, I'm listening.
What if truly understanding your true you,
that authentic self,
is the key to unlocking a future filled with more personal fulfillment, more exciting possibilities?
It's an invitation to embark on your own deep dive into self-discovery.
Take the rutherfordintel.io assessment and see what you discover.
You might be surprised by what you learn.
I think we all have a lot to learn about ourselves.
And about each other.
That's what makes life so interesting, right?
Absolutely. It's all about the journey.
And who knows where that journey might lead us.
That's the exciting part. The possibilities are endless.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, keep growing.
And keep connecting with each other.
And most importantly, keep being your amazing selves.
That's the best advice of all.